Hey everyone, this is Sam Gold from FieldGulls.com, and today we're going to talk about one of the most anticipated matchups of the 2016 season. This matchup was Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. versus Redskins cornerback Josh Norman. Leading up to this game, there was a lot of controversy on both teams. On the Giants side, there were concerns about how Beckham would handle his emotions facing Josh Norman again, while on the Redskins side, it was more about the defensive scheme called sides, where we all saw Antonio Brown and the Steelers torch Bashaud Breeland relentlessly back in Week 1. Now you can watch my Antonio Brown versus Bashaud Breeland video for a more thorough explanation of the sides concept, but the general idea is that both cornerbacks stay on their respective sides of the field no matter the defensive front. This scheme works if you have two similarly talented players, and honestly going into the season, I thought the Redskins had that with Bashaud Breeland and Josh Norman. Going to this game, there was a lot at stake for both teams. The Giants were 2-0 and wanted to get to 3-0 before facing the dominant Vikings defense they played in Week 4, while the Redskins were 0-2, wanting a much-needed win to keep their season hopes alive. In this Week 3 matchup, the Redskins departed from their traditional cover 3 defensive sides defense and had Josh Norman follow Odell Beckham to his side of the field for most of the game. While it may seem like a simple adjustment, it's actually very difficult in real time, especially for a team that primarily plays zones. In man-to-man coverage, it's not as difficult, but again, in zones, the entire defense has to shift to cover new respective areas, while their normal keys and normal partners that they've been practicing with all summer have to change as well. Now let's look at some of the plays from this game, and we're going to start with Beckham's first target at the 6:25 mark in the first quarter. The Giants have 3 wide receivers, so the Redskins play their nickel package, which features 4 down linemen and 2 linebackers. The 2 edge rushers are the Redskins' standing outside linebackers, Ryan Kerrigan, Trent Murphy, and Preston Smith, who are now all in 3-point stances. While the Redskins play a 3-4 under defense as their base, the Giants in this game play with 3 wide receiver sets the vast majority of the game, which means that the Redskins use this formation for the majority as well. Notice that Norman is on Beckham's side, but he's actually lining up opposite of Sterling Shepard. Remember, Norman is purely an outside cornerback. You will almost never see him lining up in the slot. He's much better protecting his sideline as his boundary, as he uses bail technique to watch the field and break on the ball. Shepard motions into the slot, which means that Norman is now lining up versus Beckham with outside technique. The Redskins are playing cover 3 sky, with their outside cornerbacks dropping deep, while safety D'Angelo Hall drives into the flat. After the snap, Beckham runs a post with the dino stem, widening Josh Norman. This excellent route and footwork creates the space he needs to cut between the deep middle safety and Norman. Norman gets pulled outside, giving Beckham the lane, but Eli Manning is late with his throw and places the ball behind his wide receiver. Norman recovers and dives at the ball, almost intercepting it. If the release was a half a second or even full second earlier, this is a touchdown rather than a pass deflection or almost pick. Now, as Josh Norman couldn't hang on to the ball, if he did, this would have prevented the Giants from scoring on the very next play to Sterling Shepard. Shepard easily beats the Redskins' nickel cornerback Deshaun Phillips with a seam route. Moving on to Beckham's third target in the beginning of the second quarter, the Redskins play cover 2 man with 2 deep zones. Beckham runs a corner route while Norman is playing man-to-man coverage. After the snap, Beckham takes an inside release. Now Norman looks back at the quarterback and jumps on the potential slant route inside. He does this based on the tight end releasing to the flat, expecting the slant flat concept that the Giants absolutely love running. Instead, they actually run a flat 7 smash concept, aiming to find the hole between the cornerback and the deep left safety. Beckham takes advantage of Norman's guess and cuts up behind him for a 26-yard gain. With Norman attacking the slant, he's expecting safety help over the top. Will Blackman, the Redskins' former cornerback and now safety, is caught flat-footed in the middle of the field, watching Beckham cut, and he doesn't react. The safety has one job here, and he's entirely late over the top, mesmerized by Beckham's footwork, scared he's going to cut up over the middle of the field. This is why he's late and out of position to the sideline. Norman is definitely at fault for this play, but since Norman takes inside leverage, Blackman has to understand this and take outside leverage, so he shoulders some of the responsibility too. After this play, Beckham was mostly quiet until the fourth quarter, where he gained 77 of his 121 yards on the day. On his 6 targets during the fourth quarter, Norman was in coverage for 4, allowing 3 receptions for 44 yards. The most notable reception of the day was Beckham's 7th official target at the start of the fourth quarter. Beckham runs a quick hitch, sitting underneath Norman's off coverage. He catches the ball high, coming back for it by the 28-yard line. Norman breaks down, getting ready for the tackle properly, but Beckham stiff arms him, spinning away from him towards the boundary to escape down the field. Both number 51 Will Compton and number 30 David Bruton come to the sideline to assist in the tackle. But since Compton, the inside man, takes a terrible angle, he allows a cutback lane to the middle of the field. The center knocks Norman to the ground, and number 54 Mason Foster comes off his block to make a touchdown saving tackle on Beckham. As a side note, Giants center Weston Richburg was ejected after the play for a second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which ultimately set up Dunbar with an interception. This is the point where the media was gifted with this wonderful shot of Beckham slamming his helmet into the net. Let's move on. On Beckham's final 2 targets, he ran 2 hitch routes. Norman broke up the first pass by tackling him as Beckham couldn't corral it. While on the second hitch, Beckham gained 8 yards but couldn't secure the first down. The Giants kicked a field goal, keeping the Redskins in the game, which is more important than allowing the catch in the first place. So situationally, it's a good play. Looking at a few plays where Norman was in coverage while Beckham was not targeted paints an interesting picture. In aggregate, it was a back and forth match where Norman typically had good positioning, using his build technique covering the deep sideline zone. On 2 separate occasions, the Redskins got really lucky with blown assignments. In this play, Norman follows Beckham ditching his sideline responsibility with the tight end coming on his wheel route. This could have been a huge play, but Chris Baker slams Manning to the ground for the sack. Another missed opportunity happened where Norman completely bailed on his assignment, leaving Beckham wide open down the sideline. Norman watches the play action, jumping on the crossing route to Shepard. Norman absolutely obliterates Sterling Shepard, drawing an unnecessary roughness penalty. If Manning had the sense to pump here, it's an easy touchdown to Beckham, and this would be 100% Norman's fault. Beckham finished the game with 121 yards on 7 catches. And Beckham actually had another 8 yards versus Deshaun Phillips, but was called back due to an illegal formation. Looking over the game tape, there's no doubt in my mind that Odell Beckham is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, and as a Redskins fan, I honestly hate how much I love watching him. The way he effortlessly moves in space, how crisp his footwork is, and how well he positions his body to succeed even against larger cornerbacks is a thing of beauty. While Josh Norman didn't have the best game, he has by far been the bright spot on the Redskins defense that definitely can't stop the run, and recently just lost free safety D'Angelo Hall to a torn ACL. They'll definitely need him to keep stepping up. Well, that's all I have for you today. Subscribe to my channel for my next video breakdown. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at SamuraiGold, and if you want to make a donation, follow the link to my Patreon account on the screen or the PayPal link in the notes.